Hi, I'm Erin Mann, and I'm the owner of the kitchen at Vint Hill. Today I'm going to give you a small tour of the kitchen to help you decide if this kitchen is right for you for your small business. But before we step inside to see what the kitchen at Vint Hill is like, I want to first talk to you about what exactly the kitchen is. This kitchen is what I call a grow and go kitchen. This kitchen is fully private, which means when you rent the kitchen, it is 100% yours for the whole time. You do not share it with anyone or any other business. This kitchen is meant for those who are starting out their business or trying to grow their business, which is why we call it a grow and go. It is meant to give you the space to learn, to educate, to figure out exactly how to operate your business in the hopes that you will then go and create your own space or find your own commercial property to build your perfect facility at. All right, so let's go on in and take a look. So the kitchen is about 850 square feet total. And what we're going to do is just do a complete walkthrough of the space, starting with what we call our check-in and retail area. This space can be used if you decide you want to have a pop-up during your rental time, or if you just want to do pop-ups only here. It allows for customers to come in to order and to also check out while you are in the kitchen. If it's something you want to do, all we do is tell the health department that, and they can facilitate that on your permit. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about growing and expanding your business. You may just be going to a farmer's market or doing an event, but once you are permitted here, you have the ability to bring your customers here when you're here as well. So let's do a little walkthrough and show you everything that's included. We have 3 large stainless steel working tables. All of the equipment underneath is for your use. We basically give you all of the large wares. What we don't provide are the small wares. If you have specific saute pans or knives or utensils that you like to use for your business, or even any larger equipment that is specific to your food business, you have to bring that in. We do allow memberships for storage, but if you need something in specific tailored to your business, we encourage you to bring that in. But we do provide mixers, bowls, strainers, toasters, rice cookers, blenders, small and large, up to 20 quart mixers for your working here. Now, we do provide fridge and freezer space. We do not here at this facility have a walk-in fridge or freezer. Everything is standalone. Our members have the ability to store here if they would like. They can choose dry storage, freezer, or fridge storage. However, if you are not a member, you do have storage time during your rental period. So if you need to keep your ingredients cold or ingredients frozen, you can use specific shelf space within those. While you are here, you just need to remove everything upon leaving. Our oven is a convection type 2 oven. The hood is actually built in, so it is a little bit larger than a traditional commercial oven. It will hold 8 sheet pans instead of 6 or 7. Now, here at the kitchen at Vint Hill, we do not have gas at this building, so we do everything electric. And when we were first building out this space, we asked some local chefs and some local food entrepreneurs what they preferred, if they would rather have an oven with a cooktop or if they would prefer to have something induction. So here at the kitchen at Vint Hill, everything we use for stock pots or saute pans is through induction heat. We provide those saute pans and the stock pots as well. However, again, if there's something specific to your business, we encourage you to bring that in. You just need to make sure it's induction ready. One thing that is kind of neat about that, or at least I think, is that you have the ability to run 6 of these at one time. Everything is on dedicated circuits. However, you also have the ability to unplug them and completely stow them away underneath if you're not going to be using them, so that you have even more counter space to work with. We have several of our small businesses that take that and run with that. We also have a deep fryer and a 24-inch griddle that you can use under the Type 1 hood. This facility is what we call a grease in, grease out facility, meaning if you bring in grease to use to fry, then you also have to take it out for disposal. We do provide a grease pan and a grease filter for you to be able to filter anything out, but you are not allowed to dispose of it in our dumpster or down the drains here. A typical 3-bay sink that you will find, it is very large. It's nice and deep and wide, so that way you can wash all sorts of your small or large wares here. We provide a drying rack for everyone, and of course, stowage for all of the pots and pans above. Typical hand wash sink, of course. We also here provide all of the trash bags and linens here. as many towels as you need to use. We will wash those. The trash bags, as long as you take out your trash to the dumpster, you are good there. The only things we do not provide here are your chlorine or your quartz strips for testing your water. We do provide bleach here at the kitchen at Vint Hill. If you prefer to use quartz, you have to bring in your own. We also do not provide your gloves, your hairnets, your caps, or your aprons. So anything that goes on your body for food safety protection, you are required to bring that in and to maintain that. We have a 20-quart mixer, as well as I mentioned our little mixers. So some of our small food businesses, as they're going from in-home bakeries and things like that, they're very used to using their smaller mixers. So we have a few of those here that you can run several at a time until you get used to larger batching of your product, and you can use the larger mixer and save yourself a lot of time. We also have our ice maker that is for your use, whether you need to keep your ingredients cool. So if you need the big bowls of ice to put your ingredients in so it can stay cool while you're working, or if you're doing an event or a farmer's market and you need to either drop by or use the ice during your rental time when you're leaving, that is fully included in your rental time as well, or your rental fee as well. We do not provide labels such as these, so the use by your product or the use for stickers. So I like to use that as a good example of something you would need to provide for yourself as well. Basically, any large item you would need for your small food business, we're going to provide that. You provide all of the little things. All right. So that is a really quick rundown of the kitchen at Vint Hill. What we haven't shown you is this back room back here, but it is the mop sink area where the brooms and the mops and all the cleaning products are stored. So we provide all of that as well. We try to provide the cleanest space possible. We have a lot of small food businesses that come in here and they want an Instagram ready space, and we want to provide that. But we also hold food safety to the utmost of importance here at the kitchen at Vint Hill, so that customers anywhere here of a small food business baking out of this kitchen knows the reputation that comes behind it and knows that food can be trusted, is safe, and everyone is going by all of the local and state regulations. Now, talking about regulations, Kitchen at Vint Hill can support Virginia Department of Health, Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, or VDACS, FDA, and now also USDA inspections. We provide private mentoring through me. If you need help starting or scaling your business, that is available to you here on site as well. You do not have to rent the kitchen to be able to have private mentoring for your small food business if you would like. The only other two pieces of equipment I forgot to mention as we were walking around is we do have a warmer. If you need to hot hold any of your food, or if you're baking items that include yeast or need time to rise and you want to speed that process up, you can use the warmer for that. And then of course our sheet pan rack for if you're doing a lot of muffins, cookies, bagels, cupcakes, anything like that, and they need space to cool. We also provide that as well. Pretty much, like I said, everything that you would need, unless it is specialized, you have access here. Now, memberships are a little different. As I mentioned, we have dry storage and then our fridge and freezer storage for our members. It provides you a shelf space of dry, fridge, or freezer storage. You can choose one, or you can choose two, or all three, depending on the need of your business. You do not have to be a member to be able to rent the kitchen. You do have to be able to be a member to be able to leave things here. Now, our pricing is $16.50 to $22.50 an hour. From the hours of 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., it's that prime time hour rental, and that would be $22.50 an hour. Once 10 p.m. hits, all of those hours up until 5 a.m. is $16.50 an hour. This is a 24-hour available kitchen. You have your own code, you have your own key that you'll be able to come in, you rent everything online, and you can come here when you need to, no matter if it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. It is always available for you. If you have any questions about the kitchen or how we can help you grow your food business, we would love to hear from you. So email us at info@thekitchenatVinthill.com, and we hope to meet you soon.